The game of power isn't fair, it's brutal. And if you don't know the rules, you're not just losing, you're being played. In this video, we're breaking down the second half of Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power, the laws that separate the players from the pawns. Let's dive in. Law 25. Recreate yourself. Each of us have the power to reinvent ourselves, adapt to changing circumstances, and pursue our ambitions. By mastering the art of self-creation, you can gain greater control over your narrative, enhance your influence, and navigate life's challenges with resilience and confidence. You can find a million examples of this law simply by opening Spotify. After all, artists recreate themselves to match changing trends all the time. Billie Eilish transformed from an underground artist to a mainstream sensation with a distinct image and sound. Machine Gun Kelly transitioned from rap to pop punk, reinventing his musical style and persona before going back to rap again. Then there's someone like Halsey, who constantly evolves her image and music just to keep her audience more engaged. The point? Don't let society define who you are. Take control of your own image and remake yourself into a character of power. Law 26. Keep your hands clean. Powerful people don't do the dirty work themselves. They have other people to do it for them. In order to maintain a squeaky clean appearance, you need to be prepared to have scapegoats to take the blame. This strategy involves using others to complete dirty tasks while keeping your own hands clean. Just make sure that you select scapegoats carefully. A close associate that you can reward later is always the best choice. Part of being in power is using others to achieve your goals, while hiding your true intentions, allowing you to appear far more civil. Meanwhile, your enemies will know exactly what you're capable of. Law 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. People have a strong desire to believe in something. By offering them a cause or a new faith to follow, you can create a very loyal following. In fact, nearly every cult throughout history has operated on the same effective principles. Keep your messages vague but full of promise, emphasizing enthusiasm over rationality. Create rituals and ask your followers for sacrifices to strengthen their commitment. Structure your group like a religion with hierarchies and titles. Disguise your source of income so that it appears almost magical or divine. Finally, create an us versus them dynamic to unify your followers against a common enemy. By fulfilling people's need to believe, you gain immense power and influence. Law 28. Enter action with boldness. Boldness creates authority while striking fear into the hearts of those around you. When you act with confidence and audacity, you appear larger and more powerful. Look at Heath Ledger's Joker. Though he's literally chaos incarnate, his actions on screen are so audacious that it's almost impossible to look away from him. Remember this, hesitation creates gaps and doubts, but boldness obliterates them. If you are unsure of a course of action, it's better not to attempt it. Instead, enter with boldness, as any mistakes made can be corrected with more audacity. In the end, bold moves draw attention and make you stand out from the crowd. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. The ending is everything. By planning all the way to the end, you can account for all sorts of potential consequences, obstacles, and twists of fortune. This foresight gives you several strategic advantages. First, it allows you to anticipate potential challenges and prepare for them in advance. By foreseeing obstacles, you can develop contingency plans, ensuring that you are not caught off guard and can handle any situation that arises. Secondly, having a clear vision of the end goal helps maintain focus and direction. It prevents you from getting sidetracked by distractions or short-term gains that may derail your progress. When every decision is made with the ultimate objective in mind, your actions become more aligned and purposeful, driving you closer to your desired outcome. So don't get distracted. Always keep the end goal in sight to maintain control and achieve success. Law 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. To appear powerful, your actions must seem not only natural, but as if they require no effort at all. That's why you need to take efforts to conceal the hard work and practice behind your accomplishments. Avoid the temptation to talk about how hard you work. It not only raises questions, but also shows weakness. Apple co-founder Steve Jobs was known for his charismatic presentations and seemingly effortless innovation. While he worked tirelessly behind the scenes, he projected an image of natural genius, rarely acknowledging the intense effort and countless hours he and others would put into developing the products. One of the best ways to implement this law is to act as if you could be doing so much more. This creates a sense of mystery and awe around your abilities. When your achievements appear effortless, you project an image of innate talent and exceptional capability, dramatically enhancing your influence. Law 31. Control the options and get others to play with the cards you deal. Mastering control over the choices available to others is a subtle but potent way to exert power. For instance, whenever you offer others a set of options, do so in such a way that the one you prefer will automatically seem the most appealing. During negotiations, you might raise the stakes whenever the other party hesitates, therefore making your preferred choice look like the best deal. Doing this will also inject fear and urgency, allowing you to manipulate indecisive people. Another power move is to offer a choice, where all options ultimately benefit you. This method can make others feel empowered even though they're ultimately still dancing to your tune. Law 32. Play to people's fantasies. Reality can be harsh and unappealing. Fantasies offer an escape that people desperately crave. By tapping into these fantasies, you can wield immense power. Don't be afraid to promise miraculous results rather than gradual improvements. The allure of the perfect solution is what feeds the fantasy, not actually achieving it. As with Law 27, make sure to keep your promises vague but enticing. In the end, you want to create an image of something extraordinary just within reach. And remember, when you offer people an escape from their daily struggles, you become indispensable to them. Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. Thumbscrews were a medieval torture device used to extract confessions, punish, or inflict pain. The device consisted of a set of metal screws and a frame, into which the torturers could place the victim's thumbs or fingers. By turning the screws, the pressure on the digits would increase, causing intense pain. It sounds ugly, and it is, but to gain power, we all have to know how to turn the screws on our enemies. How you do that might surprise you. For instance, in the anime and manga comic Chainsaw Man, one character actually uses a hug to discover and exploit the emotional vulnerabilities of another character. There's a similar scene in The Boys, in which the ultra-powerful character Homelander, who we all fear, is revealed to have some rather disturbing mommy issues. The point is, everyone has a weakness, an insecurity, a secret desire, or an uncontrollable emotion. These vulnerabilities can be used to your advantage. Make sure you always observe and listen, as people often reveal more than they intend to. Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. In Dune 2, Paul Atreides gives a rousing speech designed to help him reclaim the loyalty and obedience of his people. Throughout it, he finds several unique ways to assert his dominance, often by adopting regal postures and authoritative behaviors. It's the perfect illustration of how the way you carry yourself determines how others perceive and treat you. If you act with dignity and confidence, you will inspire respect and admiration. If you believe in your own greatness, others will see it too. That's why you should always present yourself with an aura of authority and self-respect. Do this long enough and well enough, and your self-belief and dignity will set you apart and command the respect that you deserve. Law 35. Master the art of timing. Timing is crucial in everything you do, but this is not just one law, it's more like half a dozen. More importantly, it requires a lot of planning. For example, you should never appear to be in a hurry, as this betrays a lack of control. Instead, cultivate patience and wait for the right moment to act. You also need to better understand the flow of time, as this will help you determine when to delay, when to act swiftly, and how to disrupt others' timing to your advantage. While it might seem perfectly innocent, the ability to balance patience with decisive action is a hallmark of true power. Law 36. Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. Desire can make you appear weak and desperate. In worst case scenarios, it can give someone else a thumbscrew to turn against you. One of the best ways to deal with this is to actually show disdain for what you cannot have. This projects an image of strength and self-sufficiency. It's a strange trick of human nature, but the less interest you show in something, the more superior you seem. If there is a problem or an enemy, sometimes it is best to ignore it, as this can significantly diminish its power. The less you desire, the more you appear to be in control of your destiny. This strategy not only protects you from appearing weak, but also keeps your focus on what really matters. Law 37. Create compelling spectacles. Guys like Muhammad Ali and Bruce Lee were the undisputed masters of creating compelling spectacles. Ali's charismatic boxing persona and dramatic public appearances captivated audiences and made him one of the most celebrated athletes of all time. Every bout he engaged in had a different name and hype built up around it. Whether it was the thrill in Manila or rumble in the jungle, he knew how to keep people on the edge of their seats. Bruce Lee would do something similar through his martial arts demonstrations and seemingly undefeatable on-screen presence. People are drawn to striking visuals and grand gestures. By creating compelling spectacles, you can enhance your aura of power and, when needed, distract from your true intentions. Use dramatic imagery and symbols to captivate and dazzle your audience. And remember that the emotional impact of visual spectacles can be far more powerful than words alone. Law 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. Flaunting unconventional ideas and behavior can alienate you from the masses. For this reason, it's a much better idea to try and blend in and adhere to social norms, while keeping your true thoughts private. By appearing conventional, you avoid unnecessary scrutiny and opposition. There's a reason why every American president has been married, Christian, and, at least since 1913, clean-shaven. These are the social norms people prefer, and to rock the boat just isn't worth it. So while the goal may be to be unique and stand out, you should only share your ideas with trusted individuals who appreciate your originality. Avoid revealing your differences until you have established a position of unshakable power. Law 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. When it comes to power, nothing is personal. One highly effective tactic you can use when playing the game is to reveal an apparent weakness, thus luring your opponent into action. When faced with an angry enemy, maintaining your cool while they lose theirs can be infuriating for them and advantageous for you. By staying calm and composed, you can manipulate situations to your advantage, leading your opponents into traps of their own making. Just know that it's important to choose your moments wisely, as you don't want to provoke those who are too powerful or influential. Sometimes a controlled burst of anger can be beneficial, but it must be strategically manufactured and under your control. Law 40. Despise the free lunch. The true value of money lies not in its possession, but in its use. Therefore, you need to see anything offered to you for free as dangerous. What is truly valuable is worth paying for. More importantly, by paying your own way, you can avoid the complications of gratitude, guilt, and deceit. Paying the full price also ensures you don't compromise on quality. Another aspect of this law is generosity. Being generous with your money not only keeps it circulating, but also attracts power. Don't be a miser or a bargainer. Your goal is power after all. If you can attain that, money will come naturally. Law 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. Large self-improvement channels like Far From Weak and On Point Fresh have thousands of wannabes copying their content, ripping off their videos, and more. But when it comes to power and attention, it's the early bird, or rather the first bird, who gets the worm. The simple fact is that what happens first often appears better and more original than what came after, even if the thing that comes after is objectively better. If you want to succeed a great man, you must accomplish twice as much to outshine them. If not, you'll remain in their shadow no matter how hard you try. One of the best ways to establish your own identity is by changing course or even disparaging your predecessor's legacy if necessary. Differentiate yourself with a unique style and symbolism, and avoid merely repeating the actions of your predecessor, as circumstances never repeat exactly. By creating a new path and establishing your own legacy, you ensure that your achievements stand on their own merit and are not overshadowed by those who came before you. Law 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Within any group, trouble often stems from a single source: the unhappy, chronically dissatisfied individual who stirs up dissent. The real problem is that this person's influence can spread, creating widespread dissatisfaction that will make your pursuit of power that much harder. The right approach to this problem is to identify and isolate the troublemaker before their influence multiplies. Pointing out the source of trouble to others can also help neutralize their power. Remember, in any group, power is usually concentrated in the hands of one or two individuals. When problems arise, find the source and isolate them physically, politically, or psychologically. By removing the troublemaker, you disperse their followers and restore harmony. Law 43. Work in the hearts and minds of others. Persuasion is most effective when you soften people up and break them down gently. Though it's tempting to wield power like a hammer, sometimes it can do a lot more harm than good. For instance, consider seducing those that you want to influence with a two-pronged approach. Start by working on their emotions, then exploit their intellectual weaknesses. Coercion creates resistance, but seduction makes people loyal. Once you understand each person's individual psychology and basic emotional responses, you can target their primary emotions like love, hate, and jealousy. And remember, the quickest way to secure people's minds is by clearly demonstrating how an action benefits them. By combining emotional appeal with logical persuasion, you can win over even the most resistant individuals. Law 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. Copying your enemy's actions confuses them, as they will be completely unable to discern your strategy. This is where the mirror effect comes in. As the name implies, this is where you begin to reflect your enemy's behaviors, attitudes, and emotions back at them. There are 4 main approaches to this. The neutralizing approach is where you do exactly as your enemies do. The narcissist approach is when you reflect their desires and values. The moral approach is when you use their ethics against them. We often call this giving them a taste of their own medicine. Finally, the hallucinatory approach is when you create a perfect, yet deceptive, copy of something they promote or admire. By using the mirror effect, you gain power over others by seducing them with their own image. This allows you to control and influence your enemies subtly, often without them even realizing it. Law 45. Preach the need to change, but never reform too much at once. People understand the need for change in the abstract sense, but tend to resist any such changes that affect them personally. Too much innovation can be traumatic and lead to revolt. So, if you're new to a position of power, you need to show respect for established ways, while introducing changes as gentle improvements on the past. If you can, borrow from the weight and legitimacy of the past to create a more comforting presence. Even simple gestures like maintaining old titles can tie you securely to history while you gradually implement necessary changes. Law 46. Never appear too perfect. The internet has a love-hate relationship with Andrew Tate. In fact, even if you go into his fandom, you'll find loads of people who disagree with everything he says outside of his motivational content. This is because he understands that appearing better than others is dangerous, but appearing flawless is even more so. Sometimes we need to deflect envy by dampening our brilliance, attributing our success to luck, or making ourselves seem like one of the masses. As you do this, beware of excessive praise, hypercritical people, and public slander, as these are signs of envy. By appearing more relatable and less perfect, you can reduce the risk of being targeted by those who resent your success. Law 47. Do not go past the mark you aim for. In victory, know when to stop. The moment of victory is often the most perilous, as arrogance and overconfidence can push you beyond your goal. In a lot of cases, this will end up creating more enemies than you defeat. You need to make sure you prevent success from going to your head and maintain both strategy and careful planning. Set a goal, and when you reach it, stop. Be guided by reason, and do not let emotions dictate your actions. Then, after attaining success, step back and consolidate your gains. Alexander the Great was a one-man conquest machine before he even turned 30, but he pushed his troops too hard and too far, and it cost him his empire. Learn from him. Law 48. Assume formlessness. By taking a visible shape or plan, you open yourself up to attack. Instead, remain adaptable and on the move, accepting that nothing is certain and no law is fixed. While it's a slightly abstract concept to wrap your head around, you need to understand how formlessness allows you to adapt quickly to changing circumstances and avoid being pinned down. This flexibility not only protects you from unexpected attacks, but also allows you to capitalize on new opportunities as they arise. That's it for the 48 Laws of Power. I hope this video helped you gain a better understanding on utilizing strategy, cultivating influence, and mastering the game of power. Always remember, knowledge is your greatest weapon. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and consider subscribing for future content. And let us know in the comments, which law is your favorite? Until next time.